was well known throughout the 9 villages and even beyond. His fame rested on solid personal achievements. As a young man of 18, he had brought honor to his village by throwing a Malinze, the cat. A Malinze was the great wrestler who for 7 years was unbeaten, from Euphomia to Baino. It was this man that Okonkwo threw in a fight, which the old man agreed was one of the fiercest, since the founder of their town engaged a spirit of the wild for 7 days and 7 nights. Amalinse was a wily craftsman, but Okonkwo was as slippery as a fish in the water. In the end, Okonkwo threw the cat. That was many years ago, 20 years or more, and during this time, Okonkwo's fame had grown like a bushfire in the Harmattan. He was tall and huge, and his bushy eyebrows and wide nose gave him a very severe look. He breathed heavily, and it was said that when he slept, his wives and children in their houses could hear him breathe. When he walked, his heels hardly touched the ground, and he seemed to walk on springs, as if he was going to pounce on somebody. And he did pounce on people quite often. He had a slight stammer, and whenever he was angry and could not get his words out quickly enough, he would use his fists. He had no patience with unsuccessful men. He had no patience with his father. Yunoka, in his day, he was lazy and improvident, and was quite incapable of thinking about tomorrow. He always said that whenever he saw a dead man's mouth, he saw the folly of not eating what one had in one's lifetime. Yunoka was, of course, a debtor, and he owed every neighbor some money. From a few cowries to a quite substantial amounts, he was tall but very thin, and had a slight stoop. He wore a haggard and mournful look, except when he was drinking or playing on his flute. He was very good at his flute.
In addition to being a skilled warrior, Okonkwo is quite wealthy. He supports 3 wives and 8 children, and each wife has her own hut. Okonkwo also has a barn full of yams, a shrine for his ancestors, and his own hut pulled an ubi. Okonkwo fears weakness, a trait that he associates with his father and with women. When Okonkwo was a child, another boy called Yunoka Akpala, which is used to refer to women as well as to men who have not taken a title. Because he dreads weakness, Okonkwo is extremely demanding of his family. He finds his 12-year-old son, Boye, to be lazy, so he beats and nags the boy constantly.
You're lazy. You're like your grandfather. I don't want a weak man. You have to bring a title to this family.
Father, I'm sorry.
Are you okay, wife?
I am. Thank you for taking care of me and the Sinma. I have lost 9 children, but I endure the pain.
Happy that you're alright now. Please take care of yourself. You become the strongest with all the sufferings you experience.
Yes, and now we have our own child.
Father! Father!
Beautiful child.
Father! Thank you for visiting my mother.
You are both precious to me.
One day, a young child from another tribe came. Because a daughter of the Yumofian tribe had been killed by the Mbani tribe, there had to be some sort of compensatory agreement made in regards to her death. Ikemefuna comes to live with Okonko's family as a peace offering from Ikemefuna's own tribe to the Igbo for the killing of a European daughter. The clan decides that Ikemefuna will stay with Okonko. Ikemefuna is homesick and scared at first, but Moye's mother treats him as one of her own, and he is immediately popular with Okonko's children.
It's okay, child. You are welcome here. It's your home now.
Thank you for accepting me.
I am happy to have another brother.
Noye, please take a good care of Ikemefuna because he is new to the village.
Ikemefuna knows many stories that the children have never heard before, and he possesses many impressive skills, such as making flutes out of bamboo sticks and setting traps for little bush rodents. To Okonko's delight, he also becomes like an older brother to Noye.
Do not be weak. It is not hard, but makes us a man. Do not entertain pain or fear. A real man doesn't have both.
Brother, I am delighted that you came here. I promise to be as manly as you and father. I won't disappoint you.
Because of that, we have another thing to do.
Okonko himself grows quite fond of Ikemefuna, but he does not show any affection because he considers doing so a sign of weakness, which he refuses to tolerate in himself or others. Ikemefuna soon begins to call Okonko father. Ikemefuna was busy talking with Noye when he noticed that someone is looking at him.
Father!
Where's the dinner?
I'm sorry, Okonko. I didn't realize the time. I forgot to cook dinner for you.
Negligent.
Forgive me. This won't happen again. I will make sure to provide your needs before anything else. Please forgive me.
He watches a wrestling match that takes place on the village ilog, or common green. Drummers line the field, and the spectators are so excited that they must be held back. The wrestling begins with matches between boys ages 15 and 16. Meduka, the son of Okonko's friend Oberika, wins one match within seconds.
I am strong. I'm weak.
I wish I had a son like yours. Strong and powerful.
My friend, you have a beautiful children and possesses different skills. You have to focus on that.
If only Simba was a boy, then I would be as happy and proud as you.
My friend, I noticed that Nyoy was greatly influenced by Ikemefuna. Let's just wait until Nyoy build a name for your family.
To the village's surprise, locusts descend upon Omofia. They come once in a generation and will return every year for 7 years before disappearing for another lifetime. The village excitedly collects them because they are good to eat when cooked.
The locusts descend, and the oracle has decreed that Ikemefuna must be killed.
That boy?
You must not take part in the boy's death. He treats you like a real father. He was obedient to you and you also like him as one of your sons.
But the oracle must be done, and I cannot break the oracle.
You must think, my friend. You must think.
We will be going to your village for you to visit your mother.
Really? I am so happy, Father. I really miss my mother so much. I know she will be as happy as I am when she sees me. It's been a long time.
During the long walk home with the men of Umuofia, Ikemefuna thinks about seeing his mother. After hours of walking, a man attacks him with a machete. Ikemefuna cries to Okonko for help. Okonko doesn't wish to look weak, so he cuts the boy down. When Okonko returns home, Nyoe intuits that his friend is dead. A village named Abame has been destroyed. It seems that a white man arrived in Abame on an iron horse, which we find out later is a bicycle, during the planting season. The village elders consulted their oracle, which prophesied that the white man would be followed by others, who would bring destruction to Abame. The villagers killed the white man and tied his bicycle to their sacred tree to prevent it from getting away and telling the white man's friends. A while later, a group of men discovered the bicycle and guessed their comrade's fate. Weeks later, a group of men surrounded Abame's market and destroyed almost everybody in the village. The 6 missionaries, headed by a white man, traveled to Banta. The white man speaks to the village through an interpreter, who, we learn later, is named Mr. Kiaga. The interpreter's dialect incites mirthful laughter because he always uses Umuofia's word for my buttocks when he means myself. He tells the villagers that they are all brothers and sons of God. He accuses them of worshipping false gods of wood and stone. The missionaries have come. He tells his audience to persuade the villagers to leave their false gods and accept the one true God.
They must be insane. How come a god has a son but not a wife?
What are they saying? We have our own God already. They are spreading false faith.
I don't even get to understand the Holy Trinity they are talking about.
These white men must be insane.
The poetry of the new religion seems to answer Nyoe's questions about the deaths of Ikemefuna and the twin newborns suiting him, like the drops of frozen rain melting on the dry palate.
Okonko's gun accidentally goes off and kills Asudu's 16-year-old son. Killing a clansman is a crime against the earth goddess, so Okonko must atone by taking his family into exile for 7 years. He has managed to get over Nawoya's disgraceful departure, but he still regrets that Azinma is a girl. He asked that she wait to marry in Umuofia after his exile, to which she consented. She even persuaded her sister, Obiageli, to do the same. Okonkwo hopes to attract interest when he returns with 2 beautiful, marriageable daughters. However, Umuofia is much changed after 7 years. The church has grown in strength, and the white men subject the villagers to their judicial system and rules of government. They are harsh and arrogant, and Okonkwo cannot believe that his clan hasn't driven the white men and the church out.
The charge has weakened the ties of kinship, and that is too late to drive the white men out. Many of the clansmen are now on the white man's side.
Foolish! Our clansmen are weak. This should not happen.
Many people of Emovia are not entirely unhappy with the white man's influence on their community. They have set up trading posts, and money is flowing into the village. Mr. Brown, the white missionary, restrains his flock from antagonizing the clan. Mr. Brown builds a hospital and a school. He begs the villagers to send their children to school and warns them that if they do not, strangers who can read and write will come to rule them. His arguments are fairly ineffective, and his hospital wins praise for its treatments. When Okonkwo first returns to Emovia, Mr. Brown goes to tell him that Nwoye is a training college for teachers. Okonkwo chases him away with threats of violence. Not long afterward, Mr. Brown's health begins to fail, and sad, he leaves his flock. Okonkwo's daughters attract many suitors, but to his great disappointment, his clan takes no particular interest in his return. The Ozo initiation ceremony occurs only once in 3 years, meaning that he must wait 2 years to initiate his sons. He deeply regrets the changes in his once warlike people. Reverend James Smith, a strict and intolerant man, replaces Mr. Brown. He demands the utmost obedience to the letter of the Bible and disapproves of Mr. Brown's tolerant and unorthodox policies. The more zealous converts are relieved to be free of Mr. Brown's policy of restraint. One such convert, Enoch, dares to unmask an Ngugu during the annual ceremony to honor the earth deity, an act equivalent to killing an ancestral spirit. The next day, the Ngugu burns Enoch's compound to the ground. Then they gather in front of the church to confront Reverend Smith and his fellow Christians. They tell the Christians that they only wish to destroy the church in order to cleanse their village of Enoch's horrible sin. Smith replies that he will stand his ground. He forbids them to touch the church, but his interpreter alters Smith's statement for fear that the unfurnished truth will be too harsh and that he will suffer as the messenger of bad news. He tells the Ngugu that Smith demands that they leave the matter in his hands. They ignore Smith's orders and burn the church. Okonkwo is almost happy again, despite the fact that his clan did not agree to kill the Christians or drive them away. Even so, he and the rest of the villagers are on their guard, and for the next 2 days, they arm themselves with guns and machetes. The district commissioner returns from his tour and requests that the leaders of Emovia meet with him. They go taking only their machetes because guns would be unseemly. The commissioner talks to them in condescending terms and says that they should discuss the church burning as friends.
The village crier announces another meeting for the following morning, and the clan is filled with a sense of foreboding. At sunrise, the villagers gather. Okonko has slept very little out of excitement and anticipation. He has thought it over and decided on a course of action to which he will stick no matter what the village decides as a whole. He takes out his war dress and assesses his smoked raffia skirt, tall feather headgear, and shield as in adequate condition. He remembers his former glories in battle and ponders that the nature of man has changed. The meeting is packed with men from all of the clan's 9 villages. The first speaker laments the damage that the white man and his church have done to the clan, and bewails the desecration of gods and ancestral spirits. He reminds that the clan that it may have to spill clansmen blood. The first speaker laments the damage that the white man and his church have done to the clan, and bewails the desecration of the gods and ancestral spirits. He reminds the clan that it may have to spill clansmen's blood if it enters into battle with the white men. In the middle of the speech, 5 court messengers approach the crowd. Their leader orders the meeting to end. No sooner have the words left the messenger's mouth than Okonko kills him with 2 strokes of his machete. A tumult rises in the crowd, but not the kind for which Okonko hopes. The villagers allow the messengers to escape and bring the meeting to a conclusion. Someone even asks why Okonko killed the messenger. Understanding that his clan will not go to war, Okonko wipes his machete free of blood and departs.
Where is Okonko?
He is not home.
We haven't seen him.
I haven't seen him as well.
Liar! Where is Okonko?
He is not home.
If you don't cooperate and tell me the truth, I will put you all in prison.
Okay. I will lead you to Okonko. In return, you are going to give us assistance. Suicide is a grave in our culture, and we may not touch Okonko's body. Though we can send some strangers from a distant village to help take the body down. That is why we are asking for your help.
Why can't you do it yourselves?
We believe that this body is evil now, and that only strangers can touch it.
We are not even allowed to bury him.
But strangers can.
Okonko should have been alive. But because of you, white people, he decided to commit a sin that is unacceptable in our culture. He cannot accept that the village are weak and passive enough to believe in all your words.
Cannot bring back Okonko's life, Obiuka.
We have to accept his fate.
Poor Okonko.
He was the pride of the village. He was strong and fearless. He achieved triumph for his hard work, and he was a respectable member of the clan. My poor friend.
I will honor your request, but I am not going to do that by myself. Instead, I'm going to give orders to my messengers to do the work. I will leave you here. This culture is one of a kind. I'm able to learn their culture and explore an additional knowledge about African custom.